Are you ready to get your fix?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The time has officially come to announce who is going to be featured on this year's Hard Knocks training camp. It took them quite some time to figure out who is going to be the team that they were going to follow around for training camp, and it is official. Per Adam Schefter, the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets to serve as this year's team on Hard Knocks per sources. The Jets report to training camp 1 week from today on July 18th, and the cameras will be rolling in full force. So how did they get to this selection? Why did it take so long and stuff like that? There were multiple teams on the table for them to select through. They ended up choosing the Jets. They actually kind of had to force the Jets because they did say they didn't want any part of this. So did other teams, but in the end, the Jets get it. So how did this come about? ESPN wrote an article about exactly how that transpired. It said, the Jets, who report to training camp next Wednesday, have been in the media spotlight this offseason after trading for four-time MVP Aaron Rodgers. That will continue during training camp when cameras will be rolling in full force to chronicle the team's experience getting ready for the 2023 season. The league's criteria for teams to be eligible for Hard Knocks eliminates teams with first-year head coaches, teams that qualified for the playoffs the past 2 seasons, and teams that appeared in the past 10 seasons of Hard Knocks, okay? So that's kind of basically some of the criteria you have to follow in order to be on Hard Knocks. That left 4 teams as possibilities: the Jets, the Chicago Bears, the New Orleans Saints, and the Washington Commanders. Now, Jets coach Robert Saleh had said, however, that his team did not, I repeat, did not want to be featured on the show. He said, I haven't gotten word or anything like that. I know there's several teams that would love for Hard Knocks to be in their building, but we're just not one of them. Okay, Saleh didn't want anything to do with this. He didn't want any more media that he's already gotten, being that they did sign Aaron Rodgers in free agency or trade it for Aaron Rodgers this offseason. So why put that extra pressure on him and the team itself? Now, the Jets last appeared on Hard Knocks in 2010, I believe, when, what's his name? I can't remember the head coach's name off the top of my head. He always wanted snacks and stuff like that. You guys can help me out, but they haven't been on there since 2010. The Detroit Lions were on Hard Knocks last season for training camp, while the Arizona Cardinals were featured on the in-season edition of Hard Knocks. A premiere date has not been announced yet, but Hard Knocks traditionally begins in August and has aired on Tuesday nights in the past. I'm super excited for this. I think this is the right decision, even though the Jets didn't want to be on there. There's a lot of, things we got to look at, like Aaron Rodgers, okay? The whole situation with him getting traded from the Green Bay Packers. I'm sure they'll follow that story and how Aaron Rodgers has seemingly has been having the time of his life in New York, kind of a rebirth, a rejuvenation of energy and motivation and just being happy overall. He's been, making his rounds at the Taylor Swift concert, New York Rangers games, ball games, whatever you want to say. Aaron Rodgers seems like he's having the time of his life. So that storyline following through Hard Knocks, I think, would be absolutely phenomenal to see. And that team is young. It's ready to roll. Look, this is the first time the Jets have had any sort of hope to make the playoffs, to make a potential Super Bowl run. I mean, Jets fans, the Jets organization are pumped up for this year because adding four-time MVP Aaron Rodgers instantly makes your team that much better. He's arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he's going to help the Jets out tremendously. They have a young receiving core, okay? They have a young backfield. Their defense is young. They fly around, make plays. I seen last year the Jets were hanging in there at some games and stuff, even though they still weren't that great, okay? But they were finding ways to win ball games when they probably shouldn't have, right? I think the Jets are headed in the right direction with Aaron Rodgers. Now, the next thing we just got to see is how long does Rodgers stay there. So this this training camp edition of Hard Knocks featuring the Jets is going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait for it. Again, it premieres sometime in August. I want to say like August 19th or somewhere around there is what they did last year. I can't remember the exact date, but it is always fun to watch and see how these teams operate during camp inside the building and kind of the conversations that it's had and just how much work these guys put in to become these NFL superstars and athletes and stuff like that, because this is their dream and they've been working towards that. So the New York Jets are going to be featured on this year's edition of Hard Knocks training camp. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 300 subs. You can help me reach that by subscribing right now. So have a great rest of your day, folks. And you just got your fix with the Wicks.